Welcome back. And this is step 2 of the first 3 steps. And I want to be really honest with you. This step might be a bit harder than step 1 because step 2 is all about taking the pressure off yourself. And I've discovered we're not always that great at doing that. When I burned out, I kept telling myself, Steve, you've got to keep going. You know, people relying on you. You can't stop. You can't let anyone down. That pressure that I was putting on me eventually crushed me. I thought I had to perform. I thought I had to perform my way out of burnout, but the truth is you can't recover when you're carrying the weight of performance on your back. Here's the key. You're unwell. You're not unworthy. Let me say that again. You are unwell, not unworthy. When you're unwell, the only way forward is to take the pressure off yourself. Stop pretending and give yourself permission to become well again. And for me, that took years to recover, actually. The Bible says in Matthew 11:28, come to me all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Notice it doesn't say, come to me when you're all together. It just says, come to me. Come as you are. God's love isn't based on our performance. It's based on who we are, which is a child of God. And yet, we can all fall trap to the performance pressures. Psychologists have a term called self-compassion. And Dr Kristin Neff, who's a leading researcher in this field, describes it as treating yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a good friend. Her studies show that people who practice self-compassion recover faster from setbacks, reduce stress, and improve resilience. So it's not just fluffy talk, it's evidence-based. I remember clearly walking into Pastor Justin's office many years ago now, it'd be over 10 years ago. And I was telling him about what was going on and what I was thinking and feeling and downloading all of this stuff. And I will never forget, he turned around and he said, Steve-O, always called me Steve-O. Steve-O, you would never in a million years speak about someone else the way you're speaking about yourself. You would never give advice to someone else the way you're giving advice to yourself right now. And he was 100% correct. I mean, it was a wake-up call because everyone else, there was compassion and kindness and care. There was patience and there was hope. But for me, it was judgment and it was harsh and it was shame-based and it was fear-based and it was horrible. And yet Justin was spot on. And sometimes we are our worst enemies. We put so much pressure on ourselves. For months I couldn't even walk into a church. I was too ashamed, too drained, too sad to face really what was waiting inside. And I remember going to some different churches and just feeling like there was these massive spotlights blowing into my face. Everything was happy and upbeat and wonderful and louder and faster. And I was just wanting to sit still and hope that God still cared. And sometimes it's like that, isn't it? You just need time to actually be unwell. So the shame and the pressure, the shoulds, the should do this, should do that. They're the killers. So how do you take the pressure off? Well, here's a few ways. Firstly, name your reality. Say it out loud. I'm unwell and that's okay. And when you name it, you decrease its power and lower the shame. Lower your expectations. You may not be able to attend every event or serve in every role or keep the same schedule. And that's not failure, it's wisdom. You may not be able to do much at all for a period of time. That's not failure, that is wisdom. Challenge the shoulds, the have tos. Every time you hear in your mind, I should, stop and replace it with, I'm resting, I'm recovering. Maybe I'll do it one day, but it's not today. Celebrate the wins. Getting out of bed, making a meal, going for a short walk. These are all victories when you are recovering. C.S. Lewis once wrote, don't let your happiness depend on something you may lose. And in burnout, that something is often the ability to achieve the performance, the reputation. And true worth is deeper than that. It's about who you are and not what you do. My earliest prayers in recovery were simple. God, just let me get through one more day. And that was all I could manage, really. And over time, those prayers grew into God, give me strength to rebuild, or God, give me vision for the future. But it had to start with that small step and that small prayer. Permission is simply survive another day without putting pressure on yourself. Maybe right now you feel like you're failing because you can't do what you used to do. So please hear me. You're not failing. You're healing. And healing takes time. Sometimes months, sometimes years. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. One of my clients once said, Steve, I feel guilty because I can't do what I used to do. And I told him, mate, you're not a machine. You're a person. Machines break down when they push too hard, and so do people. And the only way to fix is to stop, repair, and restore. It's the same with us. We need to stop, repair, and restore. Well, he took a big breath and I think it was a big relief. And it was actually probably started a real turning point for him in his recovery. So step 2 is this: stop performing. Stop pretending. Stop pushing yourself beyond what's possible. You are unwell, but you are not unworthy. You are loved as you are right now. So taking the pressure off isn't weakness. It's the very strength that allows you to heal. So this has given you some hope. Please press like, subscribe, and share to a friend that might benefit from it. In step 3, I'll share one of the most practical and life-changing disciplines I ever added to my life. And I've simply called it walk, ponder, pray.